Johnson.
Joining me now to talk about the air quality this afternoon is Bryce Bird, Director of the Division of Air Quality for the state of Utah. Bryce, thanks for being with me.
Hey, hello.
Let's talk about this haze that we're seeing along the Wasatch Front. Is this from that smoke down south?
It is. Matt really covered it well. So that we are seeing the impact from the fires that are impacting different parts of the state on different days, depending on those wind patterns. What we've seen up until now is more of a local impact. So the communities around Cedar City, St. George, over the Bryce Canyon area as well, from those local impacts, and also some regional fires as well. It's unfortunately part of our summer story that happens every year, that we see Western wildfires really being the predominant air quality visible impact that we see, in addition to the urban ozone that we experience along the Wasatch Front.
Right. Should we be concerned? I mean, how does this impact overall health?
So the particles in smoke are impacting us like other particulate air pollution that we experience during the winter inversion and other times. So it is a concern at levels where the Environmental Protection Agency has established the levels for either unhealthy for sensitive groups at the orange air quality index level, or unhealthy for everybody at the red air quality index level. We can expect sensitive people to be, of course, it's a trigger for asthma. Everyone experiences the irritation of the eyes, the throat, and of course, over time, that cumulative impact really does impact our health. So we encourage people to avoid exposure where possible. So if we're getting a heavy smoke impact where you're getting that physical response, again, the burning of the eyes, the burning in the back of the throat, maybe avoid heavy exertion outdoors during those times to decrease the amount of smoke you're bringing into your lungs and the potential for harm that brings.
You mentioned that this is something that happens this time of year. Do you expect things to get worse, though, over the summer?
Yeah. Typically, this is earlier than we've seen in the past as well. Over the past several years, it's been late July, August, and September where we've had a lot of smoke impacts. And of course, it really does depend on the winter conditions that led to dry conditions that are more prone to forming these fires. And of course, suppression and other efforts by local firefighters and federal land managers that manage these fires to make sure that they're being addressed as quickly as possible. But yeah, in the past, we've seen typically worse conditions later in the summer. But again, with this year's dry winter in the south, we've already seen a number of these large wildfires that are impacting the state.
What can the rest of us do to maybe help eliminate some of this pollution or to prevent more pollution from entering the air?
Really, one is prevent wildfire. I think that's a common message for everyone. Most of the fires in Utah are caused by human activity, and so we need to be careful with fire when we're in those wildland areas. Of course, the others are caused by lightning because of the conditions, and so in those cases, we can a couple things: reduce what we add to the pollution here locally. And so if we have air quality alerts, find ways to reduce driving and other activities, of course, burning activities that would add to that pollution here along the Wasatch Front, especially. But in other areas, really the main focus is avoiding the exposure by removing yourself from activities that would cause you to bring in more of those particles into your lungs through heavy exertion.
I'm wondering, with the popularity of electric vehicles, if you're actually seeing a lower amount of emission kind of particulate.
Yes. So here along the Wasatch Front, we've projected both the impact of cleaner vehicles. So in 2017 and newer model years, we saw EPA standards increase for the pollution that comes from motor vehicles. And then with the adoption of the zero emissions at the tailpipe electric vehicles, we are projecting and have seen reductions in local emissions from the transportation sector over time. And so that's something that we have actually seen with our air emissions inventories that we perform. And of course, that's projected to continue in the future as the older vehicles, again, those pre-2017 vehicles, kind of move into old age and are eliminated from the road as they wear out or get in accidents, things like that. So yeah, the fleet's turning over, and the electric vehicles are an important part of that as well.
Yeah, for those sensitive groups and people who may need to know the exact type of air quality, where do they go to get more information?
So we have a very robust network of air monitors along the Wasatch Front. And so I'd encourage maybe two things for people to consider. So for current air quality conditions that are near our air monitoring network, really encourage people to go to air.utah.gov or the Utah Air app, are where we can find both information about current conditions, the forecast for the next 3 days, and then any special alerts. Like right now, there is a smoke alert from the fires. Another great tool that the Federal Environmental Protection Agency has developed is the Air Now Smoke and Fire Map. So if you just search any combination of Air Now Fire or Air Now Smoke and Fire, you can see the current conditions throughout the West. You can really zoom into any area. And then there's also the ability to toggle on a smoke and fire map as well. So you can really see what is either predicted or through satellite imagery that they're seeing throughout the country to understand what's happening perhaps in an area without the availability of an air pollution monitor to give you the actual air quality conditions.
Bryce, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for being with me. That is Bryce Bird, the director of the Utah Division of Air Quality. Remember, you can stay up to date on the latest fires around the state at Utah Fire Watch. And just go to KSLNewsRadio.com, click on Utah Fire Watch at the top of the home screen.